Hi guys, I'm Nemanja, head brewer of Dogma Brewery from Belgrade, Serbia, and I'm here today to talk with you about our trials with liquid hops, the trials that we did to compare the standard brewing process and the standard beer of ours, our bestseller Hoptopod West Coast IPA, and the beer that we do in comparison using only liquid products called Meta Hoptopod. We got a call from our friend Veljko that asked us if we would like to do trials for this kind of comparison using only pellets in one beer and advanced hop products in the same beer to do the comparison. He talked with Marcus from Brewing Solutions from Bar Haas, and he connected us for any kind of tips and tricks and guidelines how we should do it. So we got a conversation started and we decided how we want to do it. For the Whirlpool, for our Hoptopod, we did like we usually do for all our beers that use pellets. So we put pellets in the Whirlpool and transfer the wort on top of that and let it rest for half an hour before transferring to the fermenter. For the Meta Hoptopod, because of the better mixture, we added Incognito at flame out. We mixed the wort in the kettle and then transferred it to the Whirlpool, and the rest for half an hour was the same. So after that half an hour, we transfer to the fermenter, we chill it to the fermentation temperature, and we pitch the yeast. The pitching rate was the same, so no difference there. The difference up to this point was for our Hoptopod, we usually get 41.5 hectoliters in the fermenter, like 40 hect fermenter, 2 batches. For the Meta Hoptopod, it was higher, 43 hectoliters, so hectoliter and a half more, just from avoiding pellets in the Whirlpool and in the boil and using the liquid products. For the fermentation, the pitching rate of the yeast was the same. For our standard beer, the Hoptopod, we let the fermentation finish and then we lower the temperature, let the yeast settle in the cone. We remove the yeast and then add the pellets on top of the young beer, and then we close the fermenter, the valve that is letting the CO2 bleed out. And for the Meta Hoptopod, it was different. We did 2 dry hops. One at the second day of fermentation, we mixed SPECTRUM in the young beer and then added to the fermenter. And the second dry hop was when we had 1 plateau left to the fermentation, also mixing the SPECTRUM, adding it to the fermenter, and then we closed the valve and let it spoon to 1 bar. So we conditioned the beer at the same temperature on 2 degrees centigrade. We added CO2 as needed. For Hoptopod, we needed to add a lot more because the Meta Hoptopod already had dissolved CO2 in it because of the spunding. And then we removed the sediment from the fermenters. Also, Hoptopod, because of the pellets, had a lot of more cold trub than the Meta Hoptopod. So that's also a thing that impacted the yield. The finished beer was ready for Meta Hoptopod around 21st to 23rd day. For Hoptopod, we usually wait up until 28th day, so basically a week longer than for the SPECTRUM, because when you use the Spectrum, you basically skip the dry hopping process because you already dry hop it during fermentation, and it needs less time to be ready, you know, sensorically wise than the regular beer. So regarding the yield for the brewing process, we got 1.5 hectoliter more for the whole fermenter from 2 brews, and for the finished beer we got around 2.5 hectoliters more because of the trub and yeast, spent yeast and spent hops. So that adds up to around 4 hectoliters more of finished beer at the end, so that's already a huge impact. The amount of hot trub in the whirlpool was also much less, so the cleaning was pretty easier. Also for the fermenter, you had much less sediment, so even the cleaning solution was used in smaller amounts. We used much less CO2 for the carbonization of Meta Hoptopod than when we use it for regular Hoptopod, because we already spunted the Meta Hoptopod. The cleaning is easier because the fermenter is already cleaner after Meta Hoptopod, much less sediment in it. The products are standardized, so you don't have variation in utilization between different batches of the hops when you use it. So when you are getting Incognito and Spectrum, you always know what you are getting and what the utilization will be. It was interesting to see how much our yield improved using liquid hops, how much less time we use to produce the beer, and how many benefits of the brewing process it gave us and make our job a lot easier.